All right, so during Rappy and I's meeting, we did an exercise and talked about if prog code were a machine, what would it look like and what would it do? So we made this machine diagram to simplify and understand how all these different modules work together and how they can be of use to us and to the world. So what we've done here is if progressive coders, if prog code is a machine, prog code is a progressive change generator that is divided into 6 different modules: a volunteer coder generator, an app founder generator, an app generator, an app user generator, a candidate election generator, and an issue solution generator. Now, if you're an app founder or a volunteer coder or a person, forgive me, as I'm about to talk, I'm going to be kind of referring to you as modules in a machine. Realize that you are people, so don't worry about that. It's just a machine diagram. Anyway, so the first one is the app founder generator. So what the app founder generator is a way for us to bring on more people who want to create apps. So the way we can help bring on more of those people and get them more engaged is firstly to bring in more of those people. Building up our relationships with these coding meetup groups will allow us to find more people who are interested in coding for progressive change, and we can bring them onto the prog code Slack channel and into the prog code community, and that brings us more people into the community. Now, when we so within the prog code Slack channel, the more we engage with the community, the more people are talking about issues, about ideas, the more people will be willing to create apps to help our cause. So and additionally, issue-based groups and candidate-based groups, a lot of the time, as I understand it, coders will come to them to volunteer, and those groups will send them our way because those groups don't have anything specific for them to code. So basically, a way to think about it is each of these modules in the app founder generator is one piece of the puzzle, and every time we strengthen one of these modules, we strengthen the entire app founder generator, and of course, the conclusion is app founders generated. So now with the volunteer coder generator, the 4 modules that make it up are the exact same. The only difference here is that we'd be finding people who are interested in helping out with apps, but not necessarily interested in founding their own apps. So within the prog code Slack channel, we again, by increasing discussion and engagement, we can have volunteers who are more dedicated, willing to put forth more of their time and energy to help the cause. And just going back to the app founder generator for a second, one thing I forgot to say, with Coders for Sanders, a lot of the time what happened would be people would say, I have an idea for an app, and the leaders of Coders for Sanders would say, that's a great idea, you should start the app. So one of the things we wanted to do in the Product Code Slack channel is encourage people who have ideas to start their ideas. And with the volunteer coder generator, we want to help them. We want to help connect them with volunteers who will help them create their apps, which brings me to the next piece of the puzzle, the app generator. So the app generator connects the app founders and the app volunteers to create these apps. Additionally, the building block technologies like National Voter File and Political Landscape API will give the founders and volunteers, for lack of a better word, raw materials to work with to build their apps on top of, to build stronger, more impactful apps. And then the progressive tech incubators can help connect the app founders and volunteers to resources to help get their app built, and as a result, the app is generated. And so if we're finding that not a lot of apps are coming out, we can go here and say, okay, what's the problem? Is it that we don't have enough people who want to make apps, or is it that we have a lot of people who want to make apps, but we don't have enough volunteers who want to volunteer for the apps? And by pinpointing that problem, then we can go, if we pinpoint, okay, it's that we need more volunteers, we can go back and we can go back to the volunteer coder generator and try to understand how we can build up more volunteers. So once you have app founders who have volunteers working with them who have created apps, now these apps need users. By connecting the app founders and their apps with our network media hubs, we are able to, for lack of a better word, advertise and promote these apps to get users for the apps. So what is the point of making all these apps and getting all these users, you might ask? Well, with those 4 pieces in place, then the final 2 pieces of the puzzle come into existence, and that's the candidate election generator and the issue solution generator. So with the candidate election generator, we connect apps with the users. So now we have apps with users, and then candidate-based groups and candidates use the apps we have that are specific to getting candidates elected. And as a result, the candidates get elected. And I'll come back with an example in a second. And then the issue solution generator is a very similar thing for apps that are focused on solving an issue, such as stopping the TPP or getting universal health care. We have the apps and users. We have the apps connected to users and the issue-based groups who are fighting for the issues, all working together using this technology, with the output of the machine being that the issue is solved. And so let's go. I want to just go back and quick give an example of how thinking about it in this way can be really useful. So if we look at what happened with the Debbie Wasserman Schultz Tim Canova election, we were basically what we were basically doing was using the app user generator to strengthen the candidate election generator in an attempt to get Tim Canova elected. So if you haven't heard, what we did was we had Bernie's Avengers advertise using Grassroots PB to phone bank for Tim Canova. So that was connecting Laction at Grassroots PB with this network media hub, Bernie's Avengers, and app users were generated. We got a lot more people using Grassroots PB in those final days as a result, and we beat our call goals every day after the advertising push from Bernie's Avengers happened.
That's true. We also promoted it heavily with on the subreddit, on our subreddit as well. Like, I know we made a lot of posts on that, and that like really affected it. So we'd be glad to help you with that in the future.
Fantastic, yeah. And I guess yeah. So I guess you guys would are also in some ways a network media hub as well. So one problem though was that Tim Canova did not win the election. He got, but he did get 43% of the vote. So what we can do here is look at this and see, okay, and think, okay, why didn't he get elected? Did we not? So we had the candidate. We had groups fighting for the candidate. Tim Canova. We had the app, Grassroots PB. Yeah, and ultimately, we'll never really know what it came down to, but a theory I have is that if we had started that effort a month before the election instead of 3 days before the election, and increased the amount of users using that app, we could have made more phone calls and ultimately perhaps gotten him that extra 7% he needed to win. So that would have involved utilizing the network media hub module more to generate more app users. So what we
Pat, can you wrap up?
Yeah. So if we go back in time, what I would have done was what I would have suggested would be and what we can do in the future is strengthen our network media hub module so that we can help get candidates elected in the future. And that is ProgCode's progressive change generator. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat. Okay, where am I? Thanks, Pat.
No problem.
So we will open up the door, the stage for questions in a bit, but just jumping off on what he said a while ago, there are three things that we can do. So given that machine, given that kind of toolkit, framework, there are three things that we can do as a community. First is to strengthen the network and then enrich the network and use the network. So those are the three things that we can do right now. By strengthening the network or strengthening the community, what we're trying to achieve now is essentially to build, sorry, just a second. Sorry, just a sec, everyone. I'm just fixing something. What? Because, sorry, right now we're being timed by Zoom. So I'm sorry. So what we're trying to do right now is how can you strengthen the community, right? So it's essentially building on what we have right now, adding more users, engaging your local community, creating local chapters for progressive coders, reaching out to your civic tech community, and so those are the things that you as individuals, as members, can do right now. Next is how can you enrich the network? As individuals, we can reach out to organizations around you, issue-oriented organization, tech incubators, hubs, all that to build on what we have right now in the network. So, and finally, use the network. As we've said a while ago, for example, in Colorado Care, right now, we are utilizing the network. We're doing the initial stages of building on what we have now. So, for example, Elijah, who's from Michigan, is helping out with Colorado Care call team, and is coordinating with John, who's from Washington, to create progressive events. Who created progressive events to coordinate with Colorado Care to help them create events. At the same time, we have Eve, who's on the ground, and she's coordinating with the Colorado Care campaign. And for example, we have a way for us to reach out to more audiences by tapping Alex or Hayden to set up an AMA about Colorado Care, maybe, so that there's a conversation ongoing and a lot more people will participate in the conversation. These are things that are possible now. And we're really excited about going through this change, going through these tangible wins. And I hope that in the coming days, if you have issues or if you have local issues or national issues that you want to solve through technology, we want Progressive Coders Network to be that toolkit for you to use. So that's where the direction we are heading at right now. We want to be the machine, as Pat nicely put a while ago. Like, we are the machine that can be used by the progressive movement to achieve change, right? And that's a very powerful thing, I think. And I think that was the way we can go about it, is to strengthen the machine, to enrich it, and to use the machine. So